64 points in the paint, you like that? You are a +6 on the glass. A lot of good stuff happening in that ball game that can carry over down in San Antonio.
Very selective as George goes right after the rim, right at Paul Gasol, and scores the bucket. As we see George getting it up to the rim.
Well, you know, the Spurs are not a shot, really a pass by in this ball game.
There's a drive by Forbes, had the move and scores the bucket on Terrence Ferguson. Little Burton, most points scored in Oklahoma City history, 147. As that shot is knocked down again by Forbes.
And I think, 19,000 agree with me.
George takes the bump, and they're going to give him the continuation. They will. Counted in the foul.
Those 14 offensive rebounds that the Thunder got, and that +6 that it led to at the end of the game.
Well, Bertans might be the only one that's still hot. He was 4 for 4. DeRozan fires it back out. Bertans, that's another one. He has made now 6 consecutive. Spurs bench that did all the damage from downtown. Now DeRozan got fouled, played through the contact, lays it up and in. To prevent that layup, and that's always what you don't want. He went for the ball, but just got too much arm as DeRozan was able to protect it. Aldridge trying to attack. Got the shot off before the double team came.
LaMarcus Aldridge, he scored 56 points. Not a single three he took the other night.
How about the block that time? Denying DeRozan, and then he threw it away right in the arms of Westbrook. Westbrook, the express all the way to the rim, and he scores.
And that's what you like.
And all 3 players certainly with a case to go to the All-Star game in Charlotte coming up. And Bertans continues to light up the nets. You almost expect it to go down the way things have been dropping for San Antonio.
Absolutely, and much better box out that time by Jeremy Grant. And that's a great drive by Abdul Nader. He came in and scored 9 quiet points the other night for the Thunder.
Well, this is why we're starting to see more and more minutes from Abdul Nader. You look at that sequence, he plays defense, gets the block in the right spot, and then comes back down on the other end of the floor.
He's just got too much time to take that shot.
Threw it into no man's land. Fortunate that Nader was there. Now he wants to turn the corner on White. Uses that muscle and scores again inside.
He's got a scores mentality.
Nader again. How about Abdul Nader? 3 drives to the rim, and that time he used that offhand, the left hand. He forced that one.
Wow, that was a lot of contact on that play.
And now the Thunder don't get back on defense, and Pau Gasol makes him pay.
It was right. He got bumped off that play on that drive to the bucket. And Nader is just playing through.
Cannot be stopped.
Absolutely. He's playing through everything.
Huge buckets at the basket on Thursday night against the Spurs. And a lot of what we're seeing is him driving in.
Basketball over, puts the Spurs in transition, but they get back on defense.
It's time to get back, but DeMar DeRozan goes right at Nader for his second. San Antonio with the last 6 in the game. Nader again, that time with the right hand as he kisses it right off the window.
I tell you, he knows what he's doing.
For the big number, the advantage in the rebounding department is nobody there to contest. LaMarcus Aldridge on the feed from Derek White. Steven Adams now a fight for it. George rips it away from DeRozan. And the Thunder have a 3-on-2. Ferguson from the corner knocks down the 3. Terrence Ferguson. White lobs it inside. Aldridge double and triple teamed and still scores.
You just can't let that pass come over the top.
George slithering around the floor. Again, swings down to the corner. Jeremy Grant splashes home the 3.
The other night they had 16 made threes on 19 attempts. Similar plays.
Average 25 and 5. Put together a great year. George got behind him there, and an easy stuff.
And you know what? The Thunder was just saying, all right, whatever you try to do.
Westbrook trying to answer. I think he lost it on the way up. Trying to go right at that double team. Now the pass nearly intercepted by George. It's loose. George dives for it, but then throws it right to Forbes, who got blocked from behind by Ferguson. Collects his miss. As DeRozan, despite the hand in the face from Steven Adams. The Thunder were led by Paul George in the scoring department. Russell Westbrook with the 7 rebounds and 4 assists, now getting out after the steal and the finish at the rim. Exactly on Thursday night was getting to the rim.
And that's what you want to see. The downhill run here, another poke away. I think it was Russell Westbrook.
A soft two-handed stuff there for Westbrook, and just like that, the Thunder have shaved the deficit all the way down to 2. Is the advantage over Westbrook. Aldridge double teamed, lowers the shoulder, series of fakes, and that's going to count. That one away with 2 hands.
And now you want to play with pace. Don't allow the Spurs to set up their defense.
Again for the lead, and George gives the Thunder the lead, 64-63. Westbrook got it over to the corner to Jeremy Grant, finds an open Adams, cutting right to the rim for the slam.
He's in the game.
Forces the steal on DeRozan. Thunder with numbers, 3-on-2. Westbrook charges all the way up to the cup and scores. Line in the first quarter.
And look, we're looking at all the numbers of the black shirts. I mean, they're all their numbers in the back. And that's a good sign for the Thunder. But here so far, flip the script.
Aldridge. Again, 15 difference in 3.
Look at this pace of this game.
Now Westbrook down the other way. That one too strong. Got his own miss. Put back good. And the foul.
I'm just not happy. Well, you like this though, folks. I'm just kidding with you. The Thunder flipped the script.
So Westbrook takes a seat as Schroeder navigates, floats, and scores. George blows by Bertans. Nader, catch fire 3. That's good. Abdul Nader from downtown.
The pace. That's right, Nick. And I like that. That's a better explanation of what we're talking about. The playing in pace. It's a tough, hard drive. Somehow found it.
Great defense by Schroeder. Sort of put that arm behind his head, got the deflection of the steal. Now the burst of speed all the way to the rim. Does George recognize it? Sends it up the floor to Schroeder. 3. Now 1. Schroeder all the way with the left hand. Scoops and scores.
Just alone in the third quarter, they had 12.
That is going to count. And a continuation for DeMar DeRozan.
The Thunder just flipping the script in all categories. Rebounding. And of course, getting that paint, as you see right there. A little room because DeMar DeRozan is great at drawing fouls.
Schroeder attacks again. What a shot. Dennis Schroeder taking over here in the second half. And the final 7 points for the Thunder in the third quarter. Schroeder catches and connects.
Kick out to a shooter for 3.
Anderson with 13. Thunder with a 9-point lead. And the drive and the finish by Derek White in this fourth quarter. Schroeder gives it over to Westbrook. Off the dribble, the shot on the way is a 3. And Westbrook with his first try. Bellinelli continues to add to what is already a season high as he is the leading scorer for San Antonio.
Bellinelli is carrying the whole weight of the offense. How about the steal? This is what we're talking about.
Schroeder through the legs. Westbrook able to finish it off. Spurs can't answer with the 3. Westbrook splits the lane, scoops and scores. And the assault waves for the Thunder continue here in the fourth quarter. Knocks on Pirtle. And the Thunder cranked it up. It has just been a completely different second half on plays like that.
The Spurs are getting to their bread and butter. You know, good looks on the three-point line. And also
48 bench points tonight for the Thunder. How about that connection? Well, we know Schroeder can score. That one right down. Round 2 goes in favor of Oklahoma City against San Antonio as these two teams exchange some heavy artillery over the last 48 hours. And this was a fun one for the Oklahoma City crowd, and just like that, the Thunder back in the win.